Right, how's everybody doing this evening? Back again with another video for you guys and gals. And this evening, what I have for everyone is I want to take y'all through a little bit of a software walkthrough of your Samsung Galaxy A50. And I want to show y'all how I have my device set up. So if y'all were wondering how to set up your device, maybe you just got it and you want to know how you do a particular thing, hopefully this video will help you out and you get to see how I overall in general have my devices set up. It's pretty much the same setup across all of my devices, but it just may look a little bit different depending on the software or the UX. So let's get into this video. So the first thing I want to take out over is my main setup and my layout. So primarily I have two home screens here. So you can see I have my main home screen with my subscriber count and then all of my important folders. So my shopping and tracking applications, my important applications, banking applications, my movie and TV apps right here, my social media apps right there, and then my most commonly used apps. So everything in this folder I use every day on a regular basis, depending on if I'm trying to calculate something for bill management or I'm trying to edit or produce a video. I would use any and all of the apps in this folder to do anything that I would need to do on a regular basis. Okay? And then just below that, we have a Google search widget. Then we have the dialer. Then we have all of my messaging, whether it be regular text messaging or video messaging apps right here. Okay. Then next to that, we got my Google apps, the Google apps that I use and how I have that set up. Then right next to that, we got my web browser applications. And then last but certainly not least, we have my camera apps. And y'all can see a few additions here is that aside from the stock camera app, I always install Open Camera so I can get the absolute specifications for the cameras on any device that I am testing. So I got the Open Camera app installed. Then we have the stock gallery. We have Google Photos because when I'm reviewing a product, I always make an album with the photos and the benchmarks and everything like that, and I make that album synced up to my Google Photos. And then this new addition y'all see, this Camera One, that's to control the camera from my smartwatch here. Okay, so these are all my camera apps or camera associated apps. All right, and that's pretty much the main page. Then my secondary page is what I would like to call my workout page. So I have all of my workout widgets. Then I have my benchmarking apps. So in particular, there's only a few benchmarks I have left to run. So I gotta see the stats for the charging. So that's what this Ampere battery app is for. And I gotta do some Wi-Fi and data speed tests. That's what the speedtest.net is for right here. Then we have my music apps right here. So Pandora, YouTube Music, and Samsung Music. Okay. Then we have another shortcut to my fitness apps. So Google Fit, Huawei Health, and Samsung Health. And then I have a ton of family that uses Alexa products. So I have my Amazon Alexa app in here as well. Then we got the Bixby app. Now I do have Bixby set up. I have the Bixby homepage disabled, but I do have Bixby set up because I do feel like there's certain things that Bixby can do that Google cannot do, and Bixby does certain things better than how Google does it. So whenever I have a Samsung device and Bixby is there, I always try and set it up. Okay? So this goes over my initial setup, okay? And these are pretty much my main two home screens and my whole folder setup. And y'all can see my app drawer is fully folded and customized as well, okay? And now y'all can see I am running a dark theme on here as well. And we're going to get into how I configured some of this. So if you want to theme out your device, there's a few different ways you can do it. Way number one is you can press and hold on any one of your home screens. and you can go to theme. This would take you to the Galaxy theme store, and then you could find any theme that you would like and load it onto your device. Now you can also go into my wallpapers and make a theme from your wallpapers. You can do that here as well. Let me get rid of this ad real quick. So you can make a theme based on your wallpapers, okay? And you can also customize your icons as well. So you can get your device fully themed out. Now I have a black, blue, and white theme. So you can see we got a primary black color with blue highlights and then white accents. Okay. I'm a big fan of black, blue, and white. That's some of my favorite colors. So you can see how I have the theme set up. And y'all will notice this dark theme throughout the whole device. Okay, so that's how you would theme your device. Now, let's get into how you would customize some of the home screen settings on your device. So once again, you want to press and hold on any one of the home screens on your device, and then you want to hit this little gear icon to take you into the home screen settings. Okay, and then inside of here, we can do a few things. So the first thing you want to check out is your home screen layout. So if we tap on that, this is where you can configure your home screen to have your home screen in your app drawer, or you could just have all your apps on one screen. Okay, you decide how you want your device to be set up, and you hit apply to apply the associated setting. Now, I like the home screen and app drawer setup, so I'm going to leave mine like that. So that's how you would configure that. Now, if you want to adjust the layout so you can get more on your home screens or more in your app drawer, you would go in here to the home screen grid size, and you can see you can go as low as 4x5. So let's see, so I can show y'all. And you can go as high as 5x6. So once again, and it will change it in real time so you can see it. So again, 4x5 makes everything a little bit bigger. 5x6 makes everything a little bit smaller so you can fit more on the screen. And then you hit apply when you're done, and then it'll be set up exactly how you want it. And again, you could do the same thing for your app drawer. So again, 4x5, 5x6, and let me show you. It just readjusts, so it makes it bigger, or it makes it smaller so you can fit more on the screen. Okay, I'm all about fitting the most on my screen as possible. Okay, that's how my whole setup works. Okay, the most I could fit on my screen at a time. That's all I'm looking for. All right, so other than that, you can also configure whether or not you have an app drawer button. So you can see you could toggle the app drawer button here. And if I go home, you can see now we have an app drawer button there. Now, I'm not a big fan of that, so I typically just leave that turned off. So let's jump back in and let's turn that off. Okay. Other than that, you could turn on and off your app notification badges with this toggle here. Okay. Then you can lock your home screen layout. So if you do a lot on your device and you move your apps around, you can set up your home screen layout exactly the way you want and then toggle on this lock feature so it doesn't move around. Okay. So if I toggle this on, now you can see I can't move around apps on my home screen, and I get a little notification that tells me stuff can't be moved around. So you can set up your device exactly the way you want, and then you can lock it down so you can't mess with it. So let's jump back in, and you could turn it off if you need to move things around as well. It's completely up to you. Okay? And you can also configure it so any new apps, they will add a shortcut directly to the home screen so you can work with it right away. Or maybe you don't like that sort of thing, you could toggle it so it just gets installed, but then you have to go into your app drawer and do what you want with it. So it's completely up to you. That's what this toggle is right here. Add new apps to the home screen. And the quick notification shade pull down, this is where you would get that toggle right here. So if you toggle this off, now you can't quickly get into your notification shade. Now it just takes you quickly to your app drawer instead of taking you to your notification shade as you see right here. Okay? But if you want to turn that on, got to jump back in. You toggle it on. And now you can get to your notification shade from any screen on your device. You just swipe down, bam, again, swipe down, bam, just that easy. All right, so that's how you would configure your notification shade pull down, and that's also how you would configure any other settings on your home screens. And if you want to hide apps, maybe you have an app that can't be uninstalled and you want to essentially you disable it but it's still kind of sitting there, you can come in here to the hide app section and you could toggle it off so it's hidden from the whole UI altogether. And it's also where you can verify how many apps you have installed on your device. So you can see I have about 90 apps installed on this device. Just remember, if you hide an app, you got to come in here to unhide it. So that's how you would hide your apps. Got this little hide app setting right here. Okay, just remember that sometimes you hide stuff and you forget you hide it. Just remember you got to jump in here to your home screen settings to unhide it. Okay, and that pretty much goes over your home screen settings. Okay, now let's get into how you can configure your notification shade and your quick toggles. Let's do this. So let's swipe down again, and you can see I have my quick toggles completely customized to my liking. So in order to do that, you hit this 3-dot hamburger menu in the upper right hand corner and you go to button order, and now you can fully customize the layout of your quick toggles, and any associated app on your device that has a quick toggle will show up here, and you just drag and drop it to your liking. And then once it's done the way you want, you hit done, and now you have your layout. Now, one of the reasons why I like One UI so much is because they have this nice little one-handed setup. So as soon as you pull things down, all of the important stuff are bumped down so you can easily access them with one hand. Same thing for the quick toggles here. So I swipe down, it's all accessible with one hand, or one finger rather. So in terms of UIs, in my opinion, if I was ranking my favorite UIs, it would probably go the Motorola UI is number 1, and then the Samsung UI is number 2 in my opinion, and then there's everything else. That's just how I feel about it. That's just my opinion. Anyway, let's keep it moving. So once you configured your quick toggles, maybe you want to configure your quick toggle layout. So to do that, you go to button grid, and then you can configure the layout. So you have a 3x3 grid, you have a 4x3 grid, or you have a 5x3 grid. Now, once again, y'all are going to hear a common theme throughout this video. I'm trying to fit as much on my display as possible, so I'm going to max it out. So 5x3 lets me fit all of them on there. So that's what I have it set to, but you play around with this and you choose what works best for you. Okay, so we're going to put that back to 5x3 and bam. Okay, so that's how you will configure your notification shade, and in particular, your quick toggles. Now let's get into how you would configure your notifications and the notification settings. Let's start off with the visual representation first. So in order to change up how you see your notifications, maybe you want to see all of them, maybe you want to just see your recent ones, you would again hit that 3-dot menu in the upper right hand corner, and then you would go to status bar, and this is where you can configure how many notifications you can see at one time. Now, out of the box, it comes set to your 3 most recent notifications, and you can see it change on the screen. But I like to see all of my notifications. This way I don't miss anything. So that's what I have mine set to, all notifications shown. Also, if you want to always see your battery percentage in your status bar or your notification shade, you could toggle this, and you can see your battery percentage will pop up. Now, I use an app called AccuBattery. That's why I have that turned off, and you can see with AccuBattery in particular, I get the battery percentage and I get the time to empty. And that right there is a lifesaver for me, and it just puts my mind at ease, and I always know how much battery I have left. That's why I use AccuBattery instead of the onboard app, and it's just a real neat way for me to track my battery health in general. So let me just show you real quick. I can track my charging and my discharging. I could track my overall battery health. Now, this only works if the device is on, and I'm currently in between my 4 to 5 discharge recharge cycles. So I'm on my last full discharge. That's why you don't see any battery health stats in here, because I drain it completely dead and then I charge it full. Okay? So that's that. All right? Now, let's keep it moving here. Okay? Now, that's how you can configure the showing of your notifications. So again, if you want to see your most recent ones or you want to see all of them, that's how you do that from the status bar settings on that quick drop down that I showed y'all. So once again, you go here, hit this 3-dot menu, and you go to status bar, and that's how you would get to that. Okay? Now, let's say you want to configure the actual notifications themselves. All right? So you swipe down on your status bar again, go into your quick toggles, come back up, and you will see this right here where it says notification settings next to where you see the clear all button. You tap on that, and then this is where you can configure your notifications for each individual app, or you can configure your notification badge numbers. Okay? And if you have your do not disturb toggle on and off, it won't pop up in your face. All right? So that's how you can configure your notifications for all your apps or each individual app as you see fit right there. Okay? So that's how you do your notifications, your quick toggles, and your status bar. Okay? Now let's get into some other cool settings that you could do on your Galaxy device. All right? So the next thing I want to take a look at for y'all is you probably noticed on your device that you have that teardrop notch, right? And you're probably wondering, it kind of gets in the way when I'm watching videos and I feel like I'm missing a piece of content. Yo, E, how do I fix this? Well, big shout out to your boy Paul Tech. He actually made a great video on how you can hide the teardrop notch, but I'm going to show y'all how to do it in this video here. So what you would need to do is you want to swipe down in your notification shade, hit that gear icon in the upper right hand corner, okay, to go into your main settings. And now what you want to do is navigate to the display, hit on the display settings, and you want to go into this setting right here where it says full screen apps. So you tap on that, and then from here you let that load up. Okay, then you want to tap this 3-dot hamburger menu in the upper right hand corner, and you go to advanced settings, and then you can hide your teardrop cutout by toggling that off and on. Okay? And that's how you would get rid of that teardrop if you don't like it. Now, I'm trying to use the device exactly how Samsung intended for their user to use it, so I'm leaving the teardrop turned on, but due to my screen recorder, it's not optimized for the teardrop, so y'all won't see the teardrop in this video, but this is how you would turn off and on your teardrop if you don't like it. Okay? So let's back out of that. Now that we're in display settings, we can go over a few things as well. So this is also where you would adjust your brightness, your adaptive brightness, your blue light filter, or your night mode. Now, if you have a dark theme on, that's going to turn on night mode by default, so you can see the night mode is grayed out. This is also where you can configure your display settings. So if we go into screen mode, you can customize certain things with your display. Okay, so if you go into adaptive display, you can customize the color temperature, so cool, warm, or if you go into advanced settings, you could tweak it exactly to your likings. Okay, now I'm a little bit what they call a basic fill in the blank, so I tend to just leave mine set to basic. Okay, for me, with my display, I don't like it, the over-exaggerated colors or the boosted colors when I'm trying to do things. I may like that when I'm recording video or things of that nature, but when I'm just trying to watch things and enjoy them, I just want the most true-to-life representation. So that's why I set my screen or my display to basic. But y'all can play around with the modes and you find the best mode that suits you. And they got the nice little preview window so you can see exactly how certain things are going to look as you toggle through different modes. But again, I'm just a basic. So I set mine as the basic. So let's keep it moving. Other than that, this is where you can adjust your text size and your font size and your font in general. Okay, and you got nice little preview windows for all of this. Now I'm going to show y'all a little bit later on a more advanced way of getting the maximum usage out of your display, but this is how you would do it the way they want you to do it. I'm going to show you a more advanced way to do it later. So you can adjust your font size, your text, and make it bold however you see fit. You can also go ahead and get new fonts if you would like. Okay, so you could download new fonts, so on and so forth. Okay, then we can also do the zoom. So if you need things to be a little bit bigger or you want things to be a little bit smaller, you come in here to where it says screen zoom and you adjust it. Okay, again, I'm going to show y'all a little bit of a better way to do this later on, but if you want to know how you do it straight out the box, this is how you do it. Okay, then we got another shortcut to our home screen settings, which I already covered. We have easy mode. So if you just want a very basic and simplified version of your device, you could turn on easy mode. And then we have a quick shortcut to our navigation buttons. So you can readjust your on-screen buttons to any orientation that you would like. So maybe you want your recent app on the right, the traditional Android layout, or maybe you want to put it in the Samsung layout and put it on the left. You could do that here. Maybe you want to use the full screen gestures. You could do that here as well. But if you switch to full screen gestures, you're going to have to switch the shrink screen gesture. I'm going to show y'all that in a little bit, so let's not do that just yet. So this is how you would configure your navigation buttons in your navigation bar setting in the display. Okay. Then we have the accidental touch protection. So if you're getting a lot of accidental touches while your device is in your pocket, you want to toggle that on. If you want to boost screen sensitivity, maybe you just installed a screen protector and you're getting a lot of mispresses, or you feel as though the touch sensitivity is not the best, you can boost the screen sensitivity with that toggle right there. And that pretty much does it for your display settings. All right. Next, now let's get into some more of the cool things that you can do on your device. Now you saw from my unboxing and first impressions, we had a nice little raise to wake feature. We had an always on display feature. We're going to get into that. Let's do the always on display next. So we're going to tap that option right here from the display settings. It's going to take us into our lock screen settings, and you can see we have the always on display, right? Now with the always on display, out of the box is set to tap to show. So you have to tap it and then it will show up. But you can go in and you could change it to always on. You could schedule when it comes on, so on and so forth. And then you can configure how it's going to look. So you could set it up in portrait mode, or you can leave it in landscape mode. You could add music controls to your always on display, so on and so forth. Okay. Then if we back out of here, you can adjust how the face is going to look for your always on display. Okay. You can adjust your clock widget. All right. For the always on display and your home screen, you could do that here. And I would recommend that you turn on the roaming clock widget. This way you don't get any screen burn-in. So if you leave in the roaming clock turned on, that clock on your always on display will every so often move around. This way you won't get any screen burn-in. Then you can configure your lock screen information, your notifications, and your lock screen shortcuts. So app shortcuts, you can change this to any app that you would like on the right or the left, any app on your device. So you can let it load up, and you can pretty much have any app that you want. You can have quick access to it from your lock screen, or you can add a nice little floating bar on your lock screen if you want it to be a little cleaner. Now I like the buttons on the right and the left, so we're going to put that back. But y'all play around with this and you use what works best for you. Okay, so that's how you would configure your always on display and some of your lock screen settings. All right, Now let's get into the raise to wake and your facial recognition and your fingerprint sensor and all that stuff. Let's do the facial recognition first. So y'all notice that I had mine set to where it stays on the lock screen. So to get that capability, you got to go into facial recognition. Let me put in my password here so we can continue. Okay, and then here is the facial recognition settings, and it's a little bit similar for the fingerprint recognition as well. So you can remove it and scan a new one to make it better. And or you can make it faster by turning that toggle there, and then it gets faster, but it bypasses the lock screen. You can boost the display brightness to make the camera more easily be able to scan for your face. So I leave that one turned on. You can toggle on the stay on lock screen, so you have to still swipe up to unlock your device. I also leave that turned on because sometimes I just want to see what notifications I have instead of unlocking the device. So you could do that from here. And you can use your fingerprint sensor or your face unlock to access certain apps with your Samsung Pass. So you can go in and you can set this up as you see fit from here. Now I don't have that set up yet, but it works and it's really cool. So I just wanted to show y'all that. And that pretty much goes over your facial recognition settings. Okay? Now let's get out of this. And now let's get into some more cool stuff here. Now let's go into how you would set up your raise to wake and do your tap to wake and all the other cool stuff. Now that would be in the features, the advanced features and settings, but if you don't see it or you want a quicker way to get to it, if you hit the magnifying glass here, you could do a system-wide search for anything on your device. So you just start typing and it will pull up the search as you see fit. Okay? So if you don't want to have to swipe through all of your settings, you could just do a system-wide search and find what you need to find in terms of the settings. But the other cool stuff we're going to talk about is in the advanced features and motions and gestures setting. So let's go there now. And from here, we can do a few things. We can set up our Bixby routines. Bixby routines are awesome. You can toggle on and off whether or not you have Bixby support from the power button. Now I have that turned off because if you turn that on, hitting the power button won't actually turn off your device. With that Bixby power button turned on, you'd have to hit a toggle from your notification shade or quick toggles to turn off your device. I don't like that, so I have that turned off. And if that comes on by default, you could turn that off inside of here in your advanced features setting. Okay? But where we want to get to is your motions and gestures. Now, you can also toggle and configure your gaming modes here. Okay? But again, I don't like gaming modes, so I have that turned off as y'all see there, and so on and so forth. Okay, but let's get into these motions and gestures here. So this is where you can toggle on and off your raise to wake. So if you want to use a combination of raise to wake and face unlock, you can set that up from here. Or you want to use a combination of raise to wake and your fingerprint sensor, you can set that up from here. And Samsung does have double tap to wake the display, so you can set that up from here as well. So a quick double tap will wake up the display and you can do whatever you need to do. And they have their standard Samsung features. So Smart Stay, with that toggled on, the camera is going to always be looking for your face. And as long as the camera sees that you're looking at the display, it won't dim the display. Then we have Smart Alert, which is pretty much self-explanatory. With Smart Alert turned on, when you put your device down and you come to pick it up later, you'll get a nice vibration letting you know that you have missed alerts that you need to take a look at. Then we have the Easy Mute. With that turned on, all you have to do is flip your device face down to mute any incoming messages, phone calls, or notifications. Or you have another gesture where you just hold your palm over the camera and it will mute that notification. Okay. Then we have the palm swipe to do a screen capture. That's pretty much self-explanatory, and you can still do the traditional way to do a screen capture, which is the volume down and the power button. So you have two different ways to take a screenshot, either palm swipe or volume down and power button. So that's really cool. And then you have the swipe on the message to call our message, okay? So that's really cool as well, and y'all can see how I have mine set up. So a large majority of this I have turned off, but I have the double tap to wake turned on. I have the one button mode turned on for the buttons. Now, inside of here, you could do the one-handed mode gesture. So you do the swipe down gesture, or you can do the triple press of the home button to shrink the screen. I like the triple press. Super easy, and you can still adjust this to any size you would like, and then you would tap anywhere in the dead space to fold the screen back up. Alright, so that's why I like the button gesture instead of the gesture. Now the hand gesture to me is a little bit harder to do. That's why I like the button gesture, but y'all play around with it and you use the one that works best for you. Okay, so that's how you would do that here. And that pretty much goes over pretty much what I would consider to be all of the cool features that really come in handy on your Samsung Galaxy device. Alright? Now what I want to do for y'all is I want to show you how you can get the most apps or messages or just things in general on your display in a more advanced way. To do this, we have to enable developer options. All right. Now, to access developer options, I'm not going to show y'all because there's some sensitive information in here, but I'm going to walk you through it. So all you would have to do to get this developer options to show up is you go into the About Phone, then you go into the software information, and then you want to find your build number. You want to tap on your build number 10 times until it says you are a developer. Then you come back out to this screen and you tap on developer options. Now, the first time you open it, it's going to give you a little warning. You got to click OK, and then you want to toggle it on. Okay? Now, you can undo any of these settings by just toggling off developer options and then toggling it back on. That will undo it and put everything in the developer options back to default. But let's get into some more cool things you can do from developer options. Now let's do the primary thing first, and then I'm going to get into some more advanced things you can do. So let's say you want to get the maximum things on your display out the box. Well, you turn on developer options. Then what you need to do is you need to Google the screen density of your device. So in particular with the Samsung Galaxy A50 here, I believe the maximum screen density is 403 pixels per inch. Now, I'm not going to do it because it's going to mess up my screen recording app if I do it with y'all, but I'm still going to explain how to do it. So you write down that screen density, or you copy and paste it. Then you would come in here, and where you see underneath the drawing section, you want to scroll down to where you see minimum width. Okay, you tap on that, then you would change the minimum width to the screen density that you just looked up. You hit OK. You give the device a couple seconds. It's going to reconfigure the whole UI with that minimum width, and then you'll be able to fit a lot more things on the display. Okay, and then that's how you get the maximum things to show up on your display. It's a little bit more advanced, and you have a lot more granular control than what they give you in the display settings. That's why I would prefer to do it this way, but now you know both ways to do it. Now let's get into some other cool little features here. Now let's say you want to make your device faster, or you want to improve your Wi-Fi to data handoff. Let's start off with the Wi-Fi to data handoff first. Okay, so let's say you have bad Wi-Fi, or you're in areas where you need to be able to quickly switch between the two. It may be helpful to turn on mobile data always on. This will help with the faster Wi-Fi to data handoff and vice versa, okay? But just keep in mind, when you turn on the mobile data always on here, it's going to use up more data. So I would only recommend you turn this on if you have an unlimited data plan. If you don't have an unlimited data plan, you want to be careful when you use this setting. Okay, that will improve your Wi-Fi to data handoff and vice versa. Okay, now let's get into some performance tweaks to potentially make your device faster. Our first performance tweak is you want to take full advantage of hardware acceleration. So you can see you can use the hardware to accelerate the performance of your device by turning on tethering hardware acceleration. So you could toggle this off and on, and it may or may not improve the overall performance. So that's the first performance tweak we want to use in the developer options. You can see I have mine turned on. The next one you want to do is down under drawing. Okay, now we want to tweak our animation speeds. So you can see we could tweak the animation scale. You want to set these to 1.5 or you want to turn them off altogether. Now I'm okay with how the animations come out of the box. So you see I left everything to default, but you would come in here and you would tweak these to either 1.5 or you would turn them off altogether. Okay, that will make your device seem as though it's a little bit snappier. All right, so we already went over how you get the most on your screen, but this is also another area where you can hide the cutout as well. Okay, but it doesn't give you that full hidden cutout. It just gives you the funky cutouts. To get that full hidden cutout, you got to go into display. You got to go to full screen apps and go into that setting that I showed y'all. But they have some other little funky cutouts in here as well. All right, now more performance tweaks. Now you can offload some of the CPU rendering and processing to the GPU by toggling force GPU rendering, and that may potentially make your device faster. So you could toggle that off and on as you see fit. Okay, so that's another performance tweak. And then you can reconfigure the app setup using the OpenCLS2 2.0, and that may again make your device faster depending on what you're trying to do. So you would want to toggle on Force 4X MSAA, okay, and it will reconfigure that app configuration to make things faster. Okay, another performance tweak you may want to try has to do with the log buffer size. So let's go to that real quick. And this helps with the memory management. So you could change the log buffer size amount to see if your memory management gets a little better. Now, surprisingly enough, I've had this device for about a week, and the memory management on this bad boy seems to be on point in my opinion. Okay, so that's another performance tweak you can try though, is readjust the log buffer size. Okay, now lastly, some of the last performance tweaks I want to show y'all have to do with forcing your apps to the micro SD card. Now, with highly customized Android devices, they don't give you that little option out of the box where you install your micro SD card and it detects it and it's like, oh, do you want to make this internal expandable storage? With fully customized Android devices, you don't have that option out of the box, but it is available if you go into developer options. And I would recommend this is something that you do first out of the box before you start loading anything to your micro SD card, because if you try to do it after the fact, it may mess up your performance. So if you want to take advantage of this feature, I suggest that be the first thing you do. As soon as you put in your micro SD card, you turn on developer options, and then you come down to this setting where it says force allow apps to external SD card. And this will force all your apps to be stored on your micro SD card. Okay, so that's the first thing you want to do. If you want to take advantage of your micro SD card storing all your apps, put your SD card in, unlock developer options, run down here, toggle that on. Okay, then you can start installing your apps as you see fit. Okay, and you want to make sure you have a nice high quality performance micro SD card so you do see that performance boost. Okay, if you don't, if you use a not so good quality card, you will see a performance downgrade. Okay, so that's one thing I want to point out as well. Another thing that I like to do, and you can see I already have it turned on, is you can force all apps to work in multi-window or split screen mode. Okay, so regardless of whether or not the app is supported in multi-window mode or not, you can force it to work in split screen or multi-window mode just by toggling that on there. Okay, so this pretty much does it for my setup video / walkthrough of the software on the Samsung Galaxy A50. I hope you guys and gals enjoyed the video and you found it helpful. If you did enjoy this video and or you found it helpful, y'all know what to do. Please help your boy out by giving the video a thumbs up. That really does help me out. You don't know how much. Okay, I hope everyone has a great evening because it's nighttime now. And I will catch you guys and gals in the next one. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.